Hello, welcome to the show. Exile Minds podcast. Finally made it. A few technical issues earlier on, but took me an hour to fix it. But I think I've got it. I think I got it for future reference too, which is always good. So it's nice to know, innit? That you can fix things if they do go wrong, because things are always going to go wrong in life. That's one of those things that we have to sort of deal with when it comes to that. Staying happy and stuff in life, and keep marching forward. But anyway, yeah, that's sidetrack. So, Liam Martin, your host, Exile Minds podcast. Today is now Saturday the 6th. It's supposed to be a Friday one, but so it got pushed back, having a few issues. But yeah, Saturday the 6th now, 6th of May, 2023. So I'll just get this camera on for the video viewers. But yeah, today's show then, I've got a show on giants, because giants has been one of them. Well, there's loads of topics to cover with these sorts of things, but giants is something I've been meaning to get to. So on the show today, we're going to explore the mythology of giants, look at some of the stories, because as there are stories from all over the world, from different sort of, well, just about everywhere in the world, different time periods, one must wonder if there's a reason for this. What is the reason for the continuity, if there is some? There seems to be some. So let's see if there's any continuity, and if there is, then could it be that it's simply because these are true accounts and they did indeed exist, or perhaps still do? So let's see if we can't find something out, shall we? We'll just get this little program up. I think I've got everything running, even though I'd had a few technical things today. I think I've got anything running just the way I want it. So let's see, hopefully. But yeah, say going forward, I think I've got this. I think I know what I'm on with. So let's get this camera on just for the video stuff. Yeah, because it's all practice for me, this is at the minute. But if I can... if I get things the way I want to do it, then it's kind of like, I feel comfortable. So I'm one of them people that I like to, when I did artwork at school, I did art and design. I kind of got okay at it as well. In fact, I did get my GCSE for it. But yeah, there was a lot of speculation that I wasn't going to get it, because I was like faffing around doing loads of prep and stuff all the time. Sorry, they wanted you to do loads of prep, and I was like, no. I just need to get the vision, and then I've got it, sort of thing. But then it was always like, oh no, but you need to be able to demonstrate all this sort of prep work for the. Well, there we go. Got us in there. Yeah, you need to be able to demonstrate it. But I'm one of them kind of people. I like to get the vision of something. I like to get the big picture. I think I mentioned this on the show before, where I kind of want to be able to. See what this camera's looking like. Yeah, I kind of want to see the overview of stuff. And that's how I try to sort of present the show, where it's like anybody can come in and look and check it out. Because I think there's a lot of this, there's a mythology of the world today that somehow an average person can't be like good at stuff and can't know stuff, and it requires experts and this, that, and the other. And it's just not true. We're all a genius, basically. And so there is some crazy stuff that goes on in the world that's just there. So. Let's have a look at an overview of something wild and big, as in giants. So yeah, I'll have a look at that one today, because I'm a Celt. I'm like got a sort of Celtic history, and we've got stories of giants on the British Isles. And our last living giant was Gog Magog. So I thought we'll start with that, and then we'll look at some giants around the world, not just from sort of my way, so all over the place. So yeah, look at some giants from around the world. And then, have a bit of a discussion. So what do you think about it? Okay, so for the video viewers, I'll get it on the screen. So I've got a list here of 10 mythical giants. So you have to stick that at the front. Like, oh, these are mythical ones, not like the regular ones. As if, it's something I just noticed there. But yeah, this is from mentalfloss.com. I've got 10 mythical giants from around the world to check out, but Gog Magog comes up in this, so I want to look at this guy first from Wikipedia, because he's sort of a local one. So here we go then. Gog Magog. In fact, I even use that name in some rap bars, because you might not know, but I'll do some music on the side as well. Do some rap music. Figured out I can also write my mental gymnastics a little bit, so that was handy. But anyway, yeah. First giant then. Gog Magog. Funny one. But it's a Welsh giant. So it's a bit of a funny name. It's Welsh language is a bit different from English. It seems sort of weird to say. But yeah, Gog Magog was a legendary Welsh giant, and then later comes into English mythology. According to Gregory Monmouth, according to Gregory Monmouth, Historia Regum Britanniae, the history of the kings of Britain from the 12th century, he was a giant inhabitant of Albion, thrown off a cliff during a wrestling match with Cornelius. He was a companion of Brutus of Troy, so some kind of legendary hero type fighter sort of thing. Gog and Magog was the last of the giants found by Brutus and his men inhabiting the land of Albion. The effigies of Gog Magog and Cornelius, used in English paganry and later instituted in the guardian statues of the Guildhall in London, eventually earned the familiar names Gog and Magog. The etymology, though, which is etymology, is looking at the roots of the words and seeing what the meanings of words have meant, tracing it back. So yeah, the etymology of Gog Magog is often connected with the biblical characters of Gog and Magog. However, Peter Roberts, author of an 1811 English translation of the Welsh Chronicle, Brut Cecilio, itself is a translation of Monmouth's Historia Regum Britanniae, and it argued that it was a corruption of Cor Madog, or Cor Maddog, the giant of great warrior Madlog. Okay, so so Gog Magog, they're saying it's getting Gog Magog, and the Bible is being mixed up with Cor Maddog. Gog Magog, Cor Maddog, I suppose. The giant of great warrior Madog, not Magog. So it's easy to say. Mad Dog. Think of it as Mad Dog instead of Magog. Anyway, so this account is supported by Pontius Vrinius. Ponticus Vrinius. I'm just wondering if his name comes up in France, because they did the Little People's Show. I'm sure his name came up. Anyway, supported by Pontius Vrinius, spelling the name Goromagog. Yeah, so he's saying it was true. He's verified by somebody else that it's a mix-up. No, it's not the same thing. So yeah, Gog and Magog in the legend of it founding in Britain is written by Geoffrey Monmouth, the historian of Regum Britanniae, as we mentioned, from 1136. It says the island of Albion was once inhabited by giants, but the numbers had dwindled and a few remained. Gog Magog was one of these last giants, and was slain by Cornelius, a member of the invading Trojan colonies, headed by Brutus, as previously mentioned. Cornelius was subsequently granted a piece of the land and named it Cornwall after his name. So that's the idea then, that it's the Troy army that came and cleared Britain of giants, basically. That's the idea. So consider, we've got some giant stuff going on here, some in our history, and it said that these people come and sort of wiped them out. So it's like, well, okay, that's the Troy army. Okay, so this thing is true. That's like inherent to Britain's kind of history. And don't forget that the English flag is supposed to be, the red cross on a white background. That's supposed to be St. George, where he's slayed a dragon, and that's the scar, that red cross. So our flag is about a dragon that got killed. That's supposed to be that's the flag. Wales has got a dragon flag, and Wales is talking about his giant. And of course, on that side of Britain, it's more towards Scotland. But Scotland is the Giant's Causeway, and then Ireland's got the Giant's Causeway, and they're both the same structure. And it's supposed to be a bridge built by giants or a bridge of giants. It's one of them. So yeah, So anyway, it's a little sidetrack, but we'll get to this. We'll get to this. So yeah, there was a Gog Magog giant, famous one of the last giants is supposed to have got killed, and then he got given Cornwall, and that's why it's named after him. And there is a place, there's a county, Cornwall. It's one of the 48 counties. It is genuinely an area called that, and it's I don't know. But anyway, it goes on to say that the history tells the encounter as follows: Gog Magog, accompanied by 20 fellow giants, attacked the Trojan settlement and caused great slaughter. The Trojans rallied back and killed all giants except for one, the detestable monster named Gog Magog, and in stature 12 cubits, and one of such prodigious strength that at one shake he pulled an oak tree. Yeah, I've heard this one before. At one shake he could pull an oak as if it had been a hazel wand. As in, just a bit of hazel, just snap a branch off, just pull a tree out of the ground. So it was captured by Cornelius. He is captured so that Cornelius can wrestle with him. So he wants to have a full-on scrap with him. The giant breaks free of Cornelius's ribs, which so enrages him that he picks up the giant and carries him on his shoulders to the top of the high rock, from which he throws the giant down into the sea. The place where he fell was known as Gog Magog's Leap for posterity. Archbishop Michael Joseph Curley suggests that Monmouth may have been inspired by the giant Antaeus and Lucian, Antaeus and Lucian's Pharsalia, who was defeated by Hercules in a wrestling match by lifting him from the earth, the source of his strength. Both giants, by lifting him from the earth, the source of his strength. Both giants lived in caves and gave their names to a place. So he's saying he's just recycled the story. He might have just been exaggerating. But yeah, there's a place called Cornwall. So who knows, right? Anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to mention that British one to start with, Gog Magog, because he's in our list of 10 mythical giants from around the world. So we'll skip Gog Magog, because we've done that one, and then we'll look at the other 9. So the first one we got there is a pretty famous one, Atlas, where we get the word Atlas from, the map of the world and stuff. Atlas, famed it's from Greek mythology. So yeah, Atlas in Greek mythology was one of the Titans who went to war against Zeus, the gods of Olympus. When the Titans lost, Zeus condemned Atlas to hold up the sky for all eternity during the 12 labours of Heracles. One of his famous quests was to find the golden apples of Hesperides. Atlas offered to go fetch the apples for Heracles if he would take his place holding up the sky. Atlas duly retrieved the apples and was about to take them to Euphrates when Heracles asked if Atlas would mind just holding the sky up again for a moment while he got comfortable. Of course, as soon as Atlas had re-shouldered the heavy burden, Heracles made off with the apples and continued with his task, leaving Atlas with his indeterminable duty. Another legend involving Atlas featured the hero Perseus, who incidentally had a winged horse in the video games. But yeah, Perseus, who encountered Atlas in the northwestern region of Africa. Atlas tried to scare Perseus away, and Perseus took Medusa's severed head from his bag when Atlas saw the terrible Gorgon, which is Medusa, the color of Gorgon. Yeah, when Atlas saw the terrible Gorgon, he turned to stone, becoming Atlas Mountain Range. So that's the legend of that. So that's, in a way, suggesting that, yeah, he's been turned to stone, right? So, been turned into a mountain. Just bear that in mind. He's been turned to stone. Next one. In at number 2. After Atlas, we've got Balor, the one-eyed god of death. In Irish mythology, Balor was the king of the Fomorians, the race of giants who were said to be early settlers of Ireland. Again, we said that England was full of them, so that means Scotland would be full of them. And the Gog and Magog was from Wales. So Cornwall, England, got a place named after a guy who beat the giant that was a Welsh giant. And Scotland's got Giant's Causeway. So all over Britain, and here we are, Ireland, Balor, from Irish mythology. Okay, so Balor, much like the Cyclops, was of one eye, a giant, the god of death. Whoever was caught in his gaze would die instantly due to this unfortunate tendency, Balor kept his single eye closed until his terrible power was needed. So he wasn't even trying to do it. It's like his eye itself could kill people. So he would try and keep it closed. Wow, man, trying to not hurt people. According to the prophecy, it was said that Balor would be killed by his own grandson. And so he imprisoned his daughter, Ethlyn, in a crystal tower. I did a crystal show last show. Did some crystal stuff in a crystal tower. In a vain attempt to prevent her from having any offspring. However, why a crystal tower? I must stop her having offspring. Interesting. Something to think about. However, before long, Cyan, a minor god, snuck in and impregnated Ethlyn, who gave birth to 3 sons. On discovering the birth of the grandsons, Balor had them thrown into the sea, but one boy, Lu, escaped his fate and was fostered by Manaman Maclear, the god of the sea. The prophecy finally played out when Lu led the Tuatha De Danann, a race of Irish gods, into battle and killed Balor by ripping out his eye. So that terrible eye then. Yeah, that's pretty bad, man. Pretty bad. But no, it's just giant stuff. But anyway, in at number 3, we've got the drunken Norse giant, Hrungnir. So Hrungnir, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but I'm going to go with that. There are countless giants in Norse legend. Hrungnir was one of the biggest and baddest. So he's a bad boy. Telling a good night, I'm a bad boy. So yeah, he was a bad boy. And one day, Odin, the leader of the Norse gods of Asgard, challenged Hrungnir to a horse race. Odin rode his super fast 8-legged steed, Sleipnir, and Hrungnir rode his standard-legged horse, which was called Gullfaxi. Unsurprisingly, Sleipnir outran Gullfaxi and led him into the realm of Asgard, where, feeling sorry for the loser, Odin invited Hrungnir for a drink. Unfortunately, Hrungnir was not a good drunk. Are there a good drunks? That's being a sore loser, maybe. I think he's probably referring to that. He was not a good drunk. Couldn't handle it. Or maybe it was... turns into a bit of an idiot. And so... it soon became belligerent. Oh, here we go. And argumentative. One of them. Claiming that he could kill all the gods of Asgard except for the goddesses of Freya and Sif, whom he would carry off with him to Jotunheim, the realm of the giants. Becoming tired of Hrungnir's arrogance, the other gods called upon Thor. Mighty Thor. Yeah, we heard about Thor. He challenged Hrungnir to a duel, and he agreed. And on the day of the fight, he turned up, clad in stone armor, carrying a stone whetstone as a weapon. Thor, because you know what Thor's all about as well, like his hammer, innit? Thor threw his trusty hammer, Mjolnir, smashed it. It smashed through both the whetstone and Hrungnir's head, and the latter fell to his death. So it just went straight through his shield and twatted him in the head. Nice. Go on, Thor. It's that hammer, isn't it? It was said that the fragments of the whetstone fell to the earth and became the flint we see all around us today. Moo! That's a claim. That's a story, isn't it? Thor and his hammer. Thor threw his trusty hammer Mjolnir, and it smashed through both the whetstone and Hungrunir's head. Smashed through. Maybe it shattered his head then as well. Man, boo. But yeah, that's a lot of flintstone. That's a lot of flint, you know. A lot of knives been made in history. Not all knives are flint, but still. Okay, squeeze one more in. In at number 4, Gentil, heathen giants. Gentil are the giants from the mythology of the Basque region of France, Spain, sort of borderline, and are said to represent the pagans who inhabited the land before Christianity. The Gentil were enormous, strong, and hairy, and loved to throw rocks because this they thought to have in this way they've built many megalithic stone circles, dolmens in the Basque region. According to legend, the Gentil died out after a huge bright cloud appeared heralding the birth of Jesus. The frightened Gentil did not want change and ran down the mountains and hid in a dolmen, never to return. Maybe that was an entrance then. A dolmen's like usually get 3 big like henge type stones standing up with a big kind of, it's like 3 big stones like henges, like a stone henge, and then a big like wide one that kind of sits on top. So you'll have like a triangle and then a big one like a roof. That's what dolmens are like. So maybe that was and if they're giants, it must have been a massive one to get on for him to get under it and hide. So maybe they had an entrance. Maybe they went underground there, you know. And there's interesting. That's quite fascinating. It might have a thread for something later actually, but we'll see where this goes. But for now, we're going to take a little break from this giants thing. I'm just going to a quick drink. Get me a lighter charge. Charge my lighter up. Yeah, make a quick drink. Charge my lighter up. We'll have a little bit of a break. So I'm still practicing, trying to get myself tight to this radio clock business so I can do some pro radio stuff properly. Because I've got to say, I've got my gear set up and everything's going well. I'm kindly invited onto this KUAP, Trouble Minds radio network. So it's going to be good. Behind the scenes, it's looking like some interesting talent's going to be coming through. So, it's exciting to be there at the beginning. But anyway, yeah, let's stick a bit of music on and just have a quick break for a few minutes. I'll just catch you in just a few minutes. Me, Dear Martin, on the Eggs & Minds podcast on Saturday, 6th of May, 2023. Back in just a mo to talk about giants. Welcome back. Exile Minds podcast with me, Liam Martin. Saturday, 6th of May, 2023. Here we go. Back to talk about giants. Let's finish off some of this exploration. Let's go and see what else we've got. We'll get back to this. Get back to this list. So we just finished this top 10 list here. We had Gog Magog, so we're just at number 4 on the list, but we've done Gog Magog already. So we'll jump in to the next one. So Goliath, which will be the 6th one we're covering out, number 5 on the list, is the biblical giant. Probably a lot of us have heard the story of David and Goliath, especially in the sort of, if you're Westerner, the prominence of Christianity. So Goliath was, if not heard of him, but we'll just recap. Goliath was a biblical giant defeated against the odds by a shepherd called David. Described in the book of Samuel, Goliath was a Palestine champion from the city of Gath, which was where an ancient race of giants was said to originate. Okay, so we're talking the Middle East here, right? The exact size of Goliath is debated, but it seems it was either 6'8" or 9'7". Either way, it was a lot bigger than his seemingly puny opponent David. So 6'8" don't, to me, scream giant. Really, it says tall man, but I don't know. If you're all small, then I don't know. But 9'7", that's a bit more like it. But 9'7", that is a bit more like it, but it's not really giant for me. It's kind of big, but it's good. Well, actually, no, it's kind of giant that, but I'm thinking big giants. You know, because the other one was, it says 12 cubits or something. How much is a cubit? Let's just quickly look this up on Google. Let's put how much. You don't need is. We're doing keywords. That's our search. How much cubit? Spelled with a C. C-U-B-I-T. 18 inches. Hang on a minute. What? So the other guy was about what? About 12 foot. Something like that. I'm going to guess, roughly. Just that kind of thing. So 10, 12 footers. Okay. That's pretty big. I mean, yeah. Having a fight in the octagon arena with a guy that big, yeah, it'd probably be a bit worried. But I think giants, like as big as a house, you know, about 30 feet. But anyway, the exact size is debatable. And beat him seemingly against all odds. Described in the Bible as being clad in an imposing amount of bronze armour. Okay, so we had armour as well. The one mentioned had stone armour. Okay, so the giant and they got armour. Okay. In a classical story of plucky underdog, David strides out to face Goliath with nothing but a humble slingshot. The fate of his people in his hands. David launches a stone from his slingshot, which hits Goliath right between the eyes. He falls down dead. In a rather gruesome turn of events, David then cuts off Goliath's head with the giant's own sword. As most of us know, the story of David versus Goliath has since come on to represent the ultimate victory of the underdog. But I didn't check this out, but I've heard people talking about this before that have been kind of interested in the Bible and studied the Bible, and they've said that if you go on and read some of this stuff, you find that, yeah, maybe he wasn't dead, maybe he was knocked out, and that's why he's cut his head off to make sure. But I've heard from people talking about this that Goliath had brothers, and when they defeated Goliath, it's like, okay, we'll go and get his brothers, and when they got his brothers. So, and they're suggesting there that there were giants in that region. So I'm wondering, does that mean then they thought, oh, well, they can be beaten, and then they inspired him to go and get him? Or what? Or was they on a mission? So I don't know. I'm wondering about that, because that's the impression I got when I was hearing about that little bit before. That maybe that was like inspired him to go and get the rest of them. And this story does suggest there was a land, you know, that there was from champion from the city of Gath, and there was known to have giants in that land. So, I don't know. So that's Middle East. Middle East saying they got giants. British Isles saying they got giants. It's just part of the kind of history. The British Isles. I don't know. Anyway, next up, number 6 on this list, but it's our 7th. Polyphemus, the one-eyed cyclops. So what you think? Should this screen? So, Polyphemus is perhaps the most famous of the Cyclops, the one-eyed giant from Greek mythology. According to Homer's legend of the Odyssey, he was the son of the sea god Poseidon. Okay, so the son of the sea god Poseidon and the sea nymph Thusa. Oh, okay, so this was a Cyclops. Another interesting one there. Here's a Cyclops then. That's his mum and dad are both gods of the sea. Yeah, I thought he'd be like some kind of water creature then, wouldn't you? But not a land roaming thing. But there you go. Maybe it's amphibious. He lived on the island of Sicily. Okay, this is in Italy then. All right, so now we're talking sort of southern Europe, getting towards the Middle East kind of area, India kind of thing. Okay, so Sicily, the Mediterranean. All right, okay, it's like the border between the Middle East and Europe. All right, sort of. Okay. Lived in the island of Sicily with his fellow Cyclops. Oh, and that's not so far from Greece then, is it? Because, because after Italy, if you keep going a bit more east, you start getting to like Bulgaria. You keep going a bit more east and you get into Turkey and Greece, So, okay. So, so I like to take a look at the overview, see how things fit together. All right, so he lived on the island of Sicily with fellow Cyclops. And they tended flocks of sheep. Okay, so being gentle. Were they giant sheep, I wonder, or just tiny ones? I don't know. You got to ask these things, don't you? When the great adventurer Odysseus landed on the island, he introduced himself to Polyphemus as no one. The Cyclops seized Odysseus and his men and trapped them in a cave covered by a giant boulder. He also began eating them. Okay. So, okay. Yeah, I wouldn't have liked that. So Odysseus hatched a plan to escape and drove a stake into the giant's only eye, blinding him. Alright, okay. He cried out, so the giant cries out in pain, and his brother Cyclops came to his aid. But when they asked who was attacking him, he replied, no one. So they thought him mad and went away. Odysseus and his crew then tied themselves to the underside of Prometheus's flock of sheep, so that they must have been giant then, so that in the morning, when he pushed aside the boulder to let out the sheep, the now blind giant patted the back of the sheep as he counted them out, not noticing the brave adventurers clinging to the animal's underside. Okay, so there must have been giant sheep then. That kind of answers my question. Sort of had to be, because a man can't really hang on underneath his sheep like a prison break under the truck sort of thing. There must have been giant sheep then. There must have been. That's important. I think that means that there must have been giant sheep, and I think that's important. Because it means it's not just giant people, it's giant animals as well. Okay? So, moving on. Giant animals. Bear that in mind. Right? Giants everywhere. Anyway. Japan. They got one as well. So, about Europe. British Isles of Europe, Middle East. Now, go further east. Japan. Oni. Japanese giant demons. Oh, great. Not just giants, but Japanese. Okay. In Japanese folklore, Oni are often hideous giants in a demon form. Depicted looking fearsome, red or bluish skin, 3 fingers and toes, grotesque horns. They are often naked, save for a loincloth made from the pelts of wild beasts. Described as super strong, they're also very keen on human flesh. They just sound delightful dinner guests, don't they? They only usually live in hell. They only usually live in hell, so do the Oni. The Oni, not only, the Oni usually live in hell. Having been sent there and transformed into Oni for living as evil life on earth. Okay, they've been changed into that curse to be that then. Alright then. However, the very worst kind of Oni are those who are unspeakably wicked, that they're so unspeakably wicked, like they are turned into Oni while still living and roam the earth, causing misery to others. Japanese people traditionally celebrate the Setsuban festival in the spring to drive out the Oni. During the festival celebrations, soybeans are thrown in the air to ward off any lurking three-fingered beasts. Yeah, okay. Soybeans then. Interesting. That is interesting. They ferment soybeans, don't they, as well, which makes them more potent. The next one on this list is number 8, Gogmagog, but we've done that guy. So then we've got the giant with the giant appetite, Kumbhakarna. That's it. Kumbhakarna is a giant demon featured in Hindu epic in the Ramayana. So this giant was giant in size and appetite, but due to a trick played by the goddess Saraswati, his tongue was tied. So when he tried for asking for a blessing, instead he asked for a bed. And as a result, he was doomed to sleep for 6 months of every year. Okay, despite being of generally kindly nature, in generally was kindly, after 6 months of deep sleep, Kumbhakarna would wake up so hungry he would consume anything in his path, including hapless humans. At one point, Kumbhakarna's brother, Ravana, is hard names, practice. Ravana needed the giant's help to win a battle, but he was sleeping, so it took 1,000 elephants trampling over him to arouse him from his slumber. Kumbhakarna then gamely joined the war against Prince Rama, but instead of achieving glory, he got rather drunk and blundered around the battlefield, doing more harm than good before being killed. What? You muppet! Can't hold his liquor. Okay, I don't hate to laugh at this giant, but yeah, he's a victim really, because he's a victim of abuse. He's a victim of a curse. Right? He's a men's rights group to help him put a claim in, get some therapy and stuff. Anyway, imagine the therapy bill for a giant. Big, I guess. Anyway. So, last one in at number 10. Orion left his mark on the stars. I didn't know Orion was supposed to be a giant. I kind of know about Orion. Let's find out about Orion then. Many different legends surround the Greek giant Orion. In one version, he was an egotistical hunter who brags that he can kill any beast alive. On hearing of his boast, a tiny scorpion stings Orion and he falls down dead. Okay, that's a meanie one. It's a bit of an abrupt one. Don't know if I buy that one. Another story has it that Orion was left blind after he tried to make Merope as his wife against the will of his father. To regain his sight, Vulcan bid his friend Cadalion to sit on Orion's shoulders and lead him towards the east, where the sun god dwelled. As the sun arose, Orion's sight was restored by the beams. Orion then went to live and hunt with Diana, but her brother Apollo grew jealous of their close relationship, and when Orion was walking through the water with just his head above the water, Apollo bet Diana she couldn't hit the far distant form on the horizon. Taking the bet, Diana released a slew of arrows and fatally hit Orion. And when the waves washed his body ashore, she realized her grave mistake. Weeping over the loss of Orion, she had him placed in the star, placed among the stars as a constellation of Orion. Oh, so it's like spreading his ashes in space permanently, because god powers can do that. That's kind of sweet, actually. It's a sad story. They're both sort of sad, but one's boasting you get killed, and the other one's like kind of a romantic one kind of thing. Interesting. Spreading the person amongst the stars, spreading their ashes. Anyway, moving on quick. There's an interesting website from medium.com. It's an interesting website, and they've got this article related to giants. They've got 7 examples that prove giants exist, and it's got this pretty nifty picture that I've seen. It's been on the internet for years, but it's just got it's a size comparison for different human skeletons of various sizes, and the information underneath of where they're supposed to have been found. So that's definitely worth checking out. So links in the description, as they say. So on the picture there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 potential real skeleton finds on this image for the video, but this website's listing 7 of them. So I'll just give you the quick list, and I want to, before we close out on the show, just quickly mention something to give you some food for thought. So we've got giants of Ecuador. Okay, in 2013 is a 7'4". Approximately, okay, scientists determine the skull is approximately 600 years old. The parts were found and assembled a few weeks later. It stood 7'4". Considering the average height of a woman in those days was 5'8", kind of big. Okay, 7'4". All skeletons between 7 and 8 foot were buried deep in elaborate caves. That's in Ecuador. So we've got some in Ecuador. So now so it's what I mean. It's all over the world. Done Europe, done Britain, done Europe, Middle East. We've got some in India. Got Japan, and now Southeast. Sorry, the Southern Americas as well. So America's giants. Kentucky Dover Mound State, Kentucky is a large Native American burial ground within which is found 7-foot tall skeletons of an Edna man. Edna. There we go, something like that. So Edna man, yeah. So you've got 7-footers there. At Native American burial grounds in Ohio, where my mate Jay comes from, similar remains were found. Incredibly tall men with elongated heads and disproportionately large torsos. That's in Ohio. New York giants. 1871 archaeological dig. Native American burial grounds unearthed 200 giant skeletons, some measuring 9 feet tall. It is also estimated the remains could have been up to 9,000 years old. Giant footprints. Giant footprints found outside Paluzi, South Africa. In South Africa, found 100-year-old. It was found 100 years ago by a hunter, and the locals named it "Footprint of the Gods." The footprint is 1.2 meters long. Okay, the body was sized by the proportions of the foot, and it would have made the giant stand between 24 and 27 feet. So we had this, the Americas there. Now we've got Africa, and these ones are big as well. Yeah, 24 feet now, 20 to 27 feet. I've got there's a picture of Michael Tellinger standing next to one that you can go and check out. Like, but yeah, it's ancient. Yeah, it's just crazy, you know. So some big ones there. Again, Death Valley. In 1931, a physician by the name of F. Bruce Russell discovered some caves and tunnels in Death Valley and decided to explore them with Daniel S. Bovey. What they first assumed was a small cave system turned out to go on for 180 square miles of cave systems. One of the first things they discovered was some kind of ritual or religious hall covered in strange hieroglyphics, but stranger still was the discovery of a 9-foot-tall humanoid skeleton. The story was first officially reported in the San Diego newspaper in 1947. The remains were mummified and estimated to be around 80,000 years old. However, the story quickly faded away along with the giant's remains. Lovelock Cave. 2600 BC to the mid-1800s, Lovelock Cave in Nevada was supposedly in use by a race of red-headed giants. Yep, that's the red-headed giants of America. They're supposed to have had like 2 rows of teeth. First evidence of these humanoids was found in the late 1800s. The cave was excavated in 1912 to 1924. 40 storage pits were unearthed containing thousands of duck decoys made of light wood, fishing gear, tons of artifacts. In total, 20,000 of them. He's like, okay. Finding them everywhere. These guys were bodies of men for 6'6", so they're not super massive. But then they discovered many of other normal size mummies, but a few were 8 to 10 feet tall. Wisconsin. New York Times on the 4th of May 1912 issue. 18 skeletons were found by the Pearson brothers, exhibited several strange and freakish features. As a quote, their heights range from 7.6 to 10 feet tall. So we got that. Giant, and this is suggesting there's a giant's cover up then. So that was 7 we've just listed. And this media.com, and I would agree with it, saying this is a cover up. So they're saying over the last 100 years, thousands of giant skeletons have been found throughout the world, especially in the American Midwest. Yes, definitely lots. You can see it in the microfilm in libraries of the old newspapers to confirm it. So where's the evidence? One way or another, the Smithsonian Institute quickly caught wind of most of these giants' findings and made the evidence, quote unquote, disappear. That's what they've said. But that's what I think as well, because this stuff does go away. And check this, right? I just want to give you this before we sort of shut down. I'll put it on screen, links in the description, and I'll explain for the radio listeners. There's lots of mythology about this stuff, but check mythos, right? Check etymology, the roots of the meanings of words. Okay, mythos from the latest version, from French, is M-Y-T-H-E from 1818. Is directly translated from modern Latin mythos, M-Y-T-H-U-S, mythos from Greek mythos, speech, thought, word, discourse, conversation, story, saga, tale, myth, anything delivered by word of mouth, a word of unknown origin. And it said that myths are stories about divine beings generally arranged in a coherent system. They are revered as true and sacred. They are endorsed by rulers and priests. That means mythos from ancient Greek means sworn testament of kings and priests. That's what it means. Sworn testament of kings and priests. So when you hear about myths, these myths from ancient Greece, it means these are real. That's what the words mean. That's what the etymology says. So that's just something that I think we ought to be looking at. And so there's some stuff to do with the things fossilized faster. I want to do a show on this, maybe the next show actually. No, I'm doing a bonus show tomorrow actually on some woodland magic stuff, but on Monday I might do another bonus just to segue into this one about fossilizing and biology, because some things fossilize a lot faster. There's processes that can happen that make things fossilize faster, and that gets really wild in terms of giants. So we'll probably follow this on Monday, actually. I have to do this bonus show tomorrow. And then, yeah, we'll see where this goes, man. Yeah, definitely want to check that out. Next Mind's podcast. So, usually just doing Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 10 p.m. GMT. But 5 p.m. Eastern. No, 2 p.m. Eastern. Sorry, I'm getting it wrong now. 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. But I'm doing a bonus show tomorrow. Well, later on today, Saturday bonus show in the daytime, because I'm in Britain and I'm not really interested in all the events that's going on, so I'm gonna do a show instead. and then Monday, so I might follow on from this because I want to try and get a guest on Roger Spur. So I'll do a show on it and then trying to see if he's interested in coming on. But anyway, yeah, we'll talk about that Monday. But for now, anyway, it's the end of the show. Quick little look on giants. hours, not a huge amount of time to cover these things, but that's all right, because I'm still practicing, and it makes me get focused and can always do an extra show. So that's what I'm going to do. Woo. Anyway, let's get an outro. Let's get some outro music. What have I got? I need some better stuff. I'm making loads of tunes as well. I make music, so as I mentioned earlier. So yeah, I'll put this one. So yeah, I'm gonna start making a bunch more tracks. I'm doing stuff for the KUAP digital radio network as well. My buddy Michael Strange, who encouraged me to do a lot of this stuff, and a lot of the listeners from all of that who encouraged me to do stuff. I'm so grateful. Been really supportive, and that's why the XR Mind podcast exists. And now we've got our own radio network, so I'm taking part of that from the beginning. So that's really, really cool. So really pleased about that. It's great. Anyway, end of the show. Liam Martin, XR Mind's podcast. Oh, Dark Devious, got chatters. I always forget. I'm getting things set up though. I believe in higher oxygen levels. Yes, I think that's what it's about. Higher oxygen levels, that's right. Gigantism, that's right. And yeah, New York Giants football team. I thought that. I didn't say it. Cool stream idea. Oh, I'll go. Nice. I just got cool stream idea. Just got here. Yeah, I was having problems, but thanks for jumping in, man, and saying hi. Boom. Jemima, nice to speak to you, man. Nice to see you. How to be here. Night, everybody. Just gonna get the old music playing. I've got things on the old mixer now, so I can do pro fades and stuff. Check this out. Woo, and then back out again. Anyway, you take it easy. I'll catch you soon, Jemima. I'm gonna get on schedule properly. I just had loads of stuff to do. That's all. So we'll get back on it. But yeah, there's more coming. You take it easy. I'll catch you all soon. Bonus show tomorrow, and then another one on Monday. Tell your friends. Like, share, subscribe. Links in descriptions. XR Mind's podcast. Famous Liam Martin. Take it easy. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you soon.
You know, Mike's pretty skeptical, but we both got weirded out by something that I mentioned a little